We want to bring people closer, not by telling them how to do things, but by loving them and showing them how the arms feel of God. That is our biggest desire anyways, just to be the hands and the feet of God and to show the kids especially how it feels to get a big hug from God. Yeah.
Ahavah School started back in 2016. I was walking in the village one beautiful afternoon and I catched up with one of my friends called Pamela. As we were sitting, he started telling me the plans that they had for their daughter Ruth, which they wanted to send to Shisheke, which is a town so like 30 kilometers from us. In that moment, as she told me about it, I just felt the Holy Spirit immediately kind of took over, and I heard myself say to her, Pamela, can I teach Ruth? And I remember she watched me, like she looked into my eyes for a moment and she went, yeah, you can teach Ruth. And obviously at that stage, I was 12 years old. It's not something very common for a mother to agree for a 12-year-old to teach her daughter. But she said yes. As time progressed, Ruth started coming to school. Every afternoon at 1 o'clock, she would come and we would start teaching. And so about 2 weeks later, after starting with Ruth, I had one of the parents on our farm approach me and he told me about his son, Emmanuel. At that stage, he was 7 years old and he hasn't been in a school. And so he told me, would you mind teaching my son, Emmanuel, as well? And I said, yes, sure, you can join. A few months later, the school started increasing. So I started teaching in my room, which was a reed house. And then a few months later, we moved into a mud house. And then as time progressed, more and more kids started coming. I think at a stage, we were about 14 kids in the mud house that I was teaching.
When the school started, it started with only one child, who is my child, Ruth. She was 5 years when she started. She started school because there was one day when I was speaking to Zoe about taking my Ruthie to Sesheke, to a different person, so that she can start school that side. Because in the area there was a problem of long distances. The government schools, they are very far. Zoe said, no, then I have to start teaching Ruth. One day, she just came to say, I have come to take Ruth. So she had 4, 2 girls, 2 boys. And then she started teaching them down at their house. So she started with them until she came up with a beautiful building, this building.
And a year passed, and I came to a place where I honestly knew that I needed a school building, a proper school building. And so I remember this one afternoon, I went to my parents and I told them, Mom, Dad, we need to pray. I need a school building. I need God to provide the money to build a school. And so we sat together, we started praying. And I think with the testimonies that we've seen as kids, it wasn't a strange thing. I think a lot of people think praying for a school is quite ordinary and could be quite unexpected. But I think with our lives that we've lived and seeing the testimonies around us, we knew that this was something that would be possible for God to do. And little did we know that 3 weeks later, my dad would receive a call where a man told him that he had a dream. And in this dream, he saw that he needed to give us money to build a school. And so God just came through amazingly. And today, Ahavah School stands. And it's a school that is progressing year by year. You know, Ahavah School is about love. It's about living out the love of God, but it's also about education. I honestly believe education is the key to the future. And we can see how education in this area has changed the people's lives in the past 10 years. So it's amazing to be part of this. We give God all the glory and the honor. It is just a privilege to be part of what He is doing here and expanding the kingdom to the next level.
I believe that God is most honored and glorified when we are most delighted in Him. So working with the children, as we call the next generation, it is so easy to put the children in a position where they are able to delight themselves, and in that, able to glorify God as well. And that majesty and that glory that the children bring through being delighted in God, through a change in their circumstances, has an everlasting impact on the family as a whole. And at Ahavah School, we believe that it's the most perfect position to approach all of the developmental issues that we have in our area. So we can approach all of the problems at home in our school as well. So therefore, by impacting the children's lives at school, we can also have an impact on the parents. And it is our role and is our passion to get the parents involved as much as we can at school as well.
I think one thing that we forget sometimes is that God calls us to love, and God calls us to love so that unity can be the end result of that. Without love, there's no unity. So for us here at Liseli Farms, there's definitely something that is putting us in a unity form, and that's definitely the love of God. And I think all of us have the same love for people and the same vision, and we are looking forward to God's kingdom.
I experienced that this school doesn't only teach about our nation and about Zambia, it also teaches us about God. The thing that I love the most is that Ahavah School has teachers that love kids, and also they never make a child feel bad. My life has changed when I came to Ahavah School, because now I know how to speak English very well and I can see a good future. I love Ahavah School because Ahavah School is a good school, and you can learn more things that you don't know, and like English. When I started the school, I don't know even English, but now I know English.
If we can be sensitive to the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and we can observe the children, and then in that we can learn so much. Just the way that they experience everything is so pure and so full of abundance, and that's just the way they experience things. They are always here, they're doing it full out, they're giving their best, they are running the race without looking back. That's just how these children are. These children really teaches us to jump in, love fully, have grace fully, have compassionate fully, play fully, enjoy your youth fully. And I think in that sense, we can really take a lot from these children and learn a lot from them.
I see Ahavah absolutely as a launch pad going ahead, where children here can go out and change the world around us as well. And I believe that Ahavah School is going to grow much larger than any of us can ever imagine as well. And I believe that it looks like boarding schools. I believe that it looks like universities, and I believe that it looks like grade 12 certificates, and that it looks like children going around the world and studying in different places. And then we believe absolutely that the children will be called back to bring the impact in our area as well.